All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to take this outside diameter of this shaft collar and we're trying to turn it down to 320 thous, right? So we know that on the lathe we're coming in from our X value, so what we take off from our cutting tool is going to be both sides, right? Because it's rolling. So what we have to do is we have to find the difference of what the actual diameter on these shaft collars is, which it has a tolerance of about 10 thou on most of them. So, you know, 440 thousandths minus 320 thousandths gets you about 116 thous, and then we got to divide that by 2, and we said that if we're in the range of 580 thou or, you know, 600 thou, then we're good as far as how much of a cut we're going to take. So one thing about this lathe, it does have a safety shield, so this thing won't turn on if this is up. It's got a limit switch in there. So this is your chuck. So what you're going to do is we're going to put this fixture. So this fixture is threaded here, so we can actually put a nut in 2 of these collars. That tells you where to stop on this machine so we don't crash the tool head, right? This has been centered, okay? So it's specialized. So you have your tailstock, which has a live center, and then we're going to insert this all the way flush against that chuck. We're going to tighten it, okay? We're going to remove this tool, lay it off to the side. Then we're going to bring this tailstock in. So one thing about this got that live center, so this can actually spin. Then we can lock that in place. If this is back here and it has a different tailstock tool in it, you can rotate this back. Press fits, okay? So as you roll out, we can roll out just kind of eyeballing it. Then we pull this lever, we bring it into our material, and as you see that it seated itself, okay? So what we had to do first on this fixture is find exact center on that axle, okay? Now that it's there, we're going to tighten it slightly, and then we're going to lock this tailstock so it can't go in and out anymore, okay? So that's locked in place, that's locked in place. So right now we can spin, and we're going to be pretty much directly in the center of this. If we are up or down, it's going to throw this cut off, okay? It's going to cut more or less, okay? Now, due to the fact that this machine is turned on its side, when it rotates, you're looking this direction, so it's going to look like it's spinning counterclockwise, but we need to think about this machine in this direction for the Z. So if we're spinning this way and I'm looking at this way, I'm clockwise, right? But if I'm looking from this way on this machine, it's going to appear that it's doing what? Run in the wrong direction, but it's running correct. So here's our cutting tool. So we're going to come into this material, and we just do this by hand right now, is we're going to come into it until we make a slight mark, okay? So when we make a slight mark, that means we're at 0 with our X, which we have a dial that we set to 0. So if you look at this, it's telling you every graduation on here is at 2 thou, okay? So I'm going to roll off of my material. If I go 2, 4, 6, 8, that gives me 10 thou. We're taking what? We're taking 60 thou off. So we have to go here, and we'll do 10 thou at a time, and we're going to go all the way to 60 thou, okay? That's where that cutter's going to be when we have everything rocking and rolling, right? So here's my Z travel, okay? Now for this, we're going to come all the way down until our tool touches down here. So once we come off of here, we're still safe because our tool's not hitting the head of the lathe. We do not want that tool to hit the head of that lathe because that will shatter that tool, and it could wind up in your skin, my skin, sealing, holes everywhere, okay? Now, when we do the calculation for the feeds and speeds, you're going to see that we hit it at like 825 RPMs. This does have a potentiometer, so I'm off my material, correct? I'm off. That's 0 though. When I turn this machine on, You're gonna see it's gonna spin up pretty quick, and we're gonna go to about 825, 840 RPM. So we're at 850. We're still pretty good, right? As far as the material we're turning and the tool that we're using. We're gonna have to actually use our Z pretty slowly due to the fact that we have an axle in there that has a little bit of flex. So we're gonna first go in 10 thou, okay? And I'm gonna hold my hand on this. Remember, I zeroed this, and I'm gonna take my first pass. I'm gonna go slow. If we go any faster, you're gonna see too much flex. And it's not gonna make a nice cut, okay? Now after this one, we're gonna go all the way down, but that second pass, you're gonna go to 20 thou, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and finish my full cut before I come back, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you that now I'm coming down to 20 thou. So I'll make a pass right there. I'll finish all of those, and I'll come back and I'll go further in to 30 thou, then 40 thou, 50, and then 60. So no matter where I am, I can come back and zero off. And this machine's accurate and precise enough that I can come back and I can reset at 10, and I can continue these cuts. So emergency stop button, you know that. There's also you know, an auto feed, but it's actually feeding faster, and it'll start flexing this material out. So that we have to pay attention to this. We have to run our Z travel, because this is only a X and a Z travel machine. It doesn't have a third, okay? So we'll be pretty good. So who wants the first go at it? Okay. All right, so right now we're zeroed in, okay?